Alright. Okay. I've been putting it off, sort of, long enough, so I'm actually going to get started doing the Dark Rapture tutorial now. Just like with the previous ones, I'm assuming you have 106%, or at the very least, you have all of the characters. So, I actually really like this world. Depending on who you ask, it's either the hardest Iron Man run or the second hardest Iron Man run, contender only to Impossible Boy. But I actually really like this world. So, starting out, we're going to use the kid. You can actually do this first level with a wide variety of different characters, but I imagine that the kid will be the easiest for most people. So all you got to do, jump over this first saw blade. You know, you can do that however you like. And now, get around this next saw blade. Again, you can do that however you like. It doesn't really matter how you do it. This corridor up here is fairly simple to get through. Just like that. Like I said, you can do this with a myriad of different characters, so I'm going to do this with Fly Wrench, because I like Fly Wrench as well. But the real trick to this level is, oh boy, look over there. There's this big old saw blade up here, but Bandage Girl's right there. So how are we going to get up there? Well, it's actually fairly simple. See this wall right here? We're just going to jump off that and go right up to Bandage Girl. You can do that with Fly Wrench. You can do it with the kid fairly easily. And this is a great level to save for last because it's very easy. If you're doing this as a kid, what you do is you jump off and you slide up this wall here so that you're slightly above the ground where you would normally be, and you have 2 jumps. And you just jump up. Look how easy that was. 5-2, oh geez. This level is a real mess if you don't know that there's a really, really, really easy trick to doing it, and there's a fantastic setup for it. All you gotta do is jump off this wall and get up over the first gravity well. You can do that however you like. I've seen some people do this as well. But it's a fairly easy jump. I think you should be able to do this without a lot of problems. Like I said, do that however you like. But as you come down here, this is another part that you can really sort of do however you like. Usually what I do is, I'm not very good at just like jumping off this and sliding down the wall. I like to jump and then hit that little corner right there so that I slide down the wall and then I just jump across. And if I hadn't paused, I would have made that. So I'm just going to quickly get back there. But this jump right here, this jump with the gravity well through the 2 saw blades on the right, this is usually the hardest part of the level. And unfortunately, because we don't have Nyjah, we don't have an easy way to do this. However, I learned that there's a fantastic way you can get through this level if you have the kid. All you gotta do is, when you jump and you get hit by the gravity well and you get sent over backwards to the left, just jump and hit this wall. Now from here, you're actually high enough to where you can just straight up jump through the 2 saw blades and the gravity well won't hit you, like this. See how easy that was? Like here, we'll do it again. Oh, that was my own fault. I didn't jump. So there you go. Just jump about halfway down this wall and you should oh, I jumped way too early for that. Wow. I just knew, like, as I was about to hit the button, it's like, oh, nope, no, we're way too early on that. But this is just a really easy... Oh, man, I am screwing this up so bad as I'm talking about it. Wow. Okay, maybe I'll just shut up for, like, 2 seconds as I do this jump. There we go. It's a lot easier than trying to jump through the gravity well and try to get in there. Usually you end up banging your head on the ceiling, but if you just use the kid and just jump off this wall, it's really easy. Like, the gravity well shouldn't influence you at all. You can just straight up jump through them, and I imagine that it's a lot easier to do it this way than to just try to do this. Yeah, see, like, that's not fun at all. Just go onto the wall and jump through the saw blades. after doing a wall jump on the left. It's a lot easier, and I was very relieved when oh my god. And I was very relieved to learn that you could do that. And it's pretty reliable. I just keep screwing it up somehow. Aw, man. Alright, well, I'll do it one more time, and then I'll move on to the last part of the level. Just because I've already spent way too much time in this level. But for this last part, all you gotta do, one full jump into this gravity well, and then double jump up here, and there you go, you're at Bandage Girl. I'll just do it 2 more times. Alright, moving on. So, 5-3, I hate this level. You can use Spelunky and do this, basically. Not enough cereal. Oh, I'm sorry, alright? I have to be willing to help people out, and I can't, unfortunately, have cereal while I do it. So, I usually use Meat Boy for this. I really don't have a specific strategy for this, outside of, like, basically just playing through the level normally. The only real strategy I have, I guess, is going over to the right side at the start. Like, just jump instantly to get up here, and then wait for the gravity wells to start going about halfway up, and then run straight through. And they're perfectly timed for you to do the same thing on the way back. And then for this side, wait for them to be almost at the top, and then jump through. And then just jump about when you think the saw blades are going to be in position. Super Meat Boy is fast enough to where he'll make these jumps pretty consistently, but if you try to make those jumps when the gravity wells are in different positions, you might get really screwed up. So I'll just quickly do this level one more time again, and then I'll move on, because like I said, I really don't have a specific strategy for this level. So if you want to do this one first, or as one of the first ones you do, that would be preferable, but it's not strictly necessary. For 5-4, Green Z-Saber actually has a thing written on her site saying that you actually can't skip this gravity well at the beginning if you're the kid. However, you can. All you gotta do is just double jump over here to this wall on the right, and then just double jump straight through that. It's fairly easy, so it's really not all that bad. Now from here, all you do is you just wall jump back up through the saw blades. Just like that. It's pretty simple. What is Iron Manning, by the way? It is putting on a costume and pretending to be Tony Stark. But this is a fairly easy jump around this first saw blade. It might look a little hairy, but it's actually really easy. All you do is you just jump away and then jump back, and then just wall jump out and around. So, when you get up here somehow... Well, okay, I guess you could alternatively do this. You can do the same thing with Meat Boy. But I don't recommend doing that because it makes the second part of the level harder. I don't recommend touching that right wall there to get up here, but... So when you get up here somehow, all you want to do is run off the edge. You can actually see the gravity well over to the left a bit. So all you want to do is run off the edge and then jump. That's your first jump. So now this gravity well is going to send you straight up into the air, and you want to grab onto the wall that's on the left side. So now you're up here. And from here, it's fairly simple. All you do is when you reach this spot right here, go forward until you about pass this saw blade, jump, and then hold right. Just like that. But in all seriousness, Iron Manning is completing all 20 levels in a world without dying in a row. And I'm showing various people different strategies that you can use in order to get through a bunch of levels a lot easier. Oh, Nyx, I love this level. So you have two options for this. You can either use the kid if you want to make the last part easier, or you can use Meat Boy to make the first part easier. I'm going to use Meat Boy. And this switch causes the floor to disappear. So you need to be really fast. I don't really have a specific strat for this first part. You kind of just have to do it a few times before you know where you're supposed to jump. And, wow. I'm better at this as the kid, so I'm going to do it as him. But the kid just barely outruns the disappearing floor. And the big trick to doing this level is, you might have actually seen it there, but when I'm running, and I run through all these saw blades, I press the right button for a fraction of a second in the air so that I hit that button. This is really important because you need to grab that, because otherwise what happens is this. If you don't hold right for the fraction of a second, that can happen where you'll actually miss the button. And if that happens, just, you know, exit to map or character swap or whatever you want to do. So as you're running, you want to hold left or right for a fraction of a second so that your head hits it. The other thing you need to be aware of is I got caught there on a minute. So let me do that again. Aw, so close. The good news about this level is that you can character swap or exit to map really easily in this level. There we go, that's a bit better. Took me a couple tries to get that right. I haven't played this game in like 3 days, so I've apparently lost all my skill in those 3 days. So I'll do it again as Meat Boy, because you have more than enough time to... Oh, dagnabbit. If you're Meat Boy, you can just straight up stop and jump in order to get it, because you have more than enough time. Oh, wait, what? Apparently I was still holding left for some reason. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, I'm just really screwing this up really bad as Meat Boy. There we go. So yeah, you kind of have to 360 in the air a bit, just so you can grab that. And this is what some people have dubbed the triple heart attack corridor because of these tiny jumps. And I've screwed it up really badly because I haven't done this level as Meat Boy in forever. So I'm just going to do those jumps as the kid. Alright, so you want to jump there. Like right here, where I am right now. You actually have a lot more leeway with this jump than you think. I just screwed it up really badly somehow for some weird reason. But it's a fairly easy jump. You just got to do it 3 times in a row, and when people get to this far, or when people get this far usually in an Iron Man run, they usually freak out and they end up smacking one of the saws. But just in like a normal playthrough, it's not really all that bad. And this last jump is the reason most people use the kid, because they can just double jump around these two saws. Whoa, that was a really weird zip. But otherwise, this level you kind of want to do first in all seriousness. I think I actually do it like as one of the later levels in the fresh run that I did, but it's reasonably difficult, so if you want to do this one first, go ahead. Ripcord. This is a really easy level. Just use the kid's double jump and you can easily bypass most of the obstacles. The only really hard part of the level is this last part right here. Or if you want to be a bit safer in this last part, all you got to do is use Ogmo, and then you'll be able to, once again, just double jump your way around past everything. Oh, dagnabbit. Ogmo is an easier time getting through those jumps at the end, so if you want to use him, go right ahead. But you can really just about use any double jump character you feel like. Or, alternatively, if you're, for some reason, trying to go for a leaderboard time while doing these Iron Man runs, you can do this, I guess. It's actually possible to zip up that wall in order to get to Bandage Girl, but I'm not going to do that.